But let's start with the gameplay for Spider-Man PS4. Again, nothing but a Batman Arkham ripoff. They stole the combat. It's so obvious. And that's the crazy part. You don't even try to add your own touch to it to make it seem like it isn't a ripoff. No, you just blatantly rip it off and you don't care. How bad can a studio be like Insomniac Games to where if you're going to plagiarize something, if you're going to copy something, you at least add your own flair to kind of switch it up so it's not a total copy and paste job. But no, this is a total copy and paste job from the Batman Arkham games, period. Yet they made it worse in every way. The combat is very dull, boring, repetitive, takes no skill, and doesn't feel polished at all. You can tell they just rushed this. They were so lazy with it. It's nothing but a brain-dead button masher that gets old very fast. The gameplay in the Arkham games was smooth. This is just bad, clunky. Doesn't feel good at all. The camera's all over the place when you fight. You know, they copied, Batman with all the gadgets and stuff. Like in the game, you use this ability that sees through walls straight out of Batman. I mean, what a joke. But the combat was so boring, it put me to sleep on several occasions. The web swinging is a disgrace. Probably the worst web swinging in a Spider-Man game yet. It feels awkward as hell. It's slow, sluggish. You barely feel like you're moving. You feel like you're moving in slow motion. That's how slow it is. The controls are not responsive. You'll press a button to swing and nothing will happen. It won't register at all. The gameplay is just so cartoony. Like the way you just run up the walls is so unrealistic. The way you'll dive off of a building, a tall building all the way to the ground, you won't die. It's just stupid. It's just such an unrealistic game. It's not fun whatsoever. The missions are so repetitive. Go here, beat up some bad guys. Go there, beat up some bad guys. It's so lazy. The suits in the game all suck and feel just horrible to use. The same special abilities for every suit. You can tell Insomniac Games has no creativity or talent. What a terrible studio. The suits are just so lame. They look bad. The abilities that you get with them are useless. The upgrades that you can do are useless. The skills you unlock are useless. They just do nothing. The open world is so lifeless. It looks so bad. Like, why make the game open world if it's going to look this bad? If it's going to be so lifeless, not have anything to do in it. There's nothing to do. They should have just made this game linear like all of other garbage-ass PlayStation games. You know, they're all linear and stuff. It should have just made it linear. But when they try to go out of their lane and make these open world games, it fails in every way. You know, it honestly reminds me of Watch Dogs, just in a couple of ways. And what I mean by that is the fact that, one, the game was downgraded. Two, Watch Dogs also had a very, very empty and lifeless open world, and so does Spider-Man. This reminds me of a Ubisoft game so much. I've experienced all types of bugs and glitches, bad frame rate issues. But yeah, I just don't get it. The story is a joke. It's very poorly written, full of cheesy dialogue, poorly written characters. You know, every character in this game is horrible. Predictable moments that you saw coming 3,000 miles away. Spider-Man's always saying these witty one-liners that we're supposed to say. Oh, come on, that's just Spidey, man. Good old Spidey. It's so lame. Like, it's not funny. The only people who would think this is entertaining are morons. I can't believe we have grown men. That was so good, Spidey. Oh, that was so good. I can't believe Spidey said that. That's so funny. And they try to throw in this horrible, Peter Parker storyline where you're Spider-Man, sometimes of the day, then you're Peter Parker, and sometimes you have to play as Peter Parker. I mean, they even made you play as Mary Jane. Mary Jane is one of the worst female characters in history. Not only that, the game is very short and can be beaten in about 3 hours, and that's stretching it. I've seen somebody already beat this game in under an hour. It's a short game. They're trying to put all this stupid content in the game to make the game seem longer. That's why they came out with day one DLC before the game came out, because they know the game was going to die in less than a day, so they're trying to come out with DLC already. Boring boss fights. It's a joke. Every boss fight is the same as well. There's no epic boss fights in this game. Every boss fight, you just spam the same button over and over again. And it's no skill. It's boring, repetitive, not rewarding. And I knew the story for Spider-Man was going to be bad, but this just takes bad to a whole other level. The story in Spider-Man has always been bad. The graphics are horrible. They look like an early PS2 game at best. All the, environments and textures, character models are all horrible. I was just like standing on top of a building looking around at everything, and I was like, damn, this is ugly. I felt like Patrick from SpongeBob, where he thought he caught the ugly. That's how ugly it was. I was like, oh no. No, I caught the ugly. You see what I'm saying? Again, you can tell this game was downgraded. I mean, it's obvious. Only a moron, a complete Sony fanboy that just doesn't want to say anything about negative about Sony would say this wasn't downgraded at this point. It's so obvious. You would have to be blind to say that this game was not downgraded. It's missing puddles. It's missing everything. The city looks horrible. I was streaming this game earlier, and I had this one nerd in the chat. Oh, come on, dude, just wait till nighttime. It looks really good at night. It looked worse at night than it looked in the daytime. There's no night and day cycle. It's just stupid. This game is a joke. The gameplay is bad. It's a ripoff of Batman. Again, the story is cheesy. The web swinging is just, god awful. I don't they just tried so hard to be like Batman, and they just failed in every way. They really did. This is why I've said multiple times that gaming is dead. I can't believe I wasted my time with this game, because you know how it is. People will be like, but come on, man, you can't say the game sucks without playing it. I mean, come on. And meanwhile, this is the same person running around saying the game's a masterpiece and game of the year before they play it. Just hypocrisy at its finest. But now that I've played the game, what's going to be the next excuse? Bottom line, this game is horrible. Anybody playing it is not a real gamer. Period.